Lord shared with me last week that testifying, sharing that victory with others in the body is an extra stomp in his head. So if you need that as an encouragement to come and share and encourage someone else today, you can use it. So I believe the Lord brought that for me to share as well. So if anyone else wants to take a minute and do that.
Anyhow, this is what happened to me on Tuesday. Tuesday was a blessing for me. I, as a rule, watch a lot of Christian programs on television, especially in the morning. And I was watching Pastor Peter Youngson from Grace College in St. Catharines, Ontario, who was just a stone's throw away from my hometown. Everything was going really good. I was just enjoying his service and everything. And then his worship team, which is a great worship team. I mean, ours is great, but they have a much bigger one than what we have, but still ours is good. They sang Near to God, and that was the start for me. And so he did a little more of his service, and then he had a gentleman there who was also a minister, and they decided that they would sing He Touched Me. When they started that, I didn't know the whole chorus, I mean the whole verse of the songs, but I knew the chorus, I knew it literally. And so when they got finished with the first part, and they started on the chorus, I went up to the front of my TV, and I stood there, and I sang as hard as I could, and I cried as hard as I could, trying to sing. And the Holy Spirit went right through me, just like, that's never happened before. This lady that I suffered with for months and months and months is okay. I can run down the halls now. And not only do they call me now fruit fly, but they call me America's trouble. So anyhow, I think that we should maybe here start singing a few of the songs. I've got a list of them down there, and I would like for this praise and worship team to have one of these songs. He touched me. That is so great. It just, you don't know the feeling that I had when they sang that. So that was my great day, morning, and then that afternoon, Douglas had called, and he had the boys with him, and I knew that there was a birthday coming up. So I said, why don't you bring the boys, and I'll take us all out for an evening supper. And that's what I did. And it just made me feel so good that I could do something for somebody else when God did so much for me. Thank you.
Praise God.
Yeah, the Mary Ann did
Anybody else? Come on.
About 20 years ago, when we first went to Africa, I had an experience that kind of stayed with me, and I never really gave it a lot of thought afterwards. But one day in the market, we ran into a Mexican man, and he had a big basket full of black scorpions, and he could play with them, and he didn't get hurt. And he looked at me, like into my soul, and laughed, and I felt afraid of him. And for 20 years, which I followed the Lord and tried to do what He wanted me to do, and the Spirit has been in me. And last night I learned that I had a really still and unclean spirit clinging to me from that encounter, and I was delivered of that. And instead of being sort of thankful, I was really angry. Actually, I said, Lord, 20 years, oh my gosh, every time I got up to share or sing or play the piano, I just felt shame. And that was not from him, that was from that unclean spirit. Anyway, I just felt kind of angry with that. I thought, what a waste of time for 20 years. But then this morning, I heard this verse, and it says, "Blessed is the man whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty, for he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal." So I'm grateful to him today.
Seems becoming a weekly thing we continue to I just wanted to, I received that call, and I had confirmation on the sermon last week through a different source, the breaking, and the multitude, and pouring out the bread. We've had some really interesting experiences. This one kind of goes with Ina's. Was battling a spirit of accusation, and was quick to forgive, and started worshiping, being down and working on a house outside of Beaver Lodge. Spent most of the morning just singing in the house, worshiping, and it felt like I was being encased by the Holy Spirit. It was something I can't really explain. We also we had 3 baby pygmy goats here in the last few weeks. We lost 2 of them so far, and but the experience of bottle feeding and things like that, these little critters, is something else. And a small testimony: we found one in the driveway that had died, and it was late to me and my oldest son Kyron. We picked it up, and I'm holding it, and it was still and warm. So I wasn't sure what to do, but he looks at me and he goes, "Dad, you know we could pray." I said, "Yes, we could pray." So we did that, actually. We rebuked the death of this goat. I said, "That's whatever we could do." It wasn't raised up, but thank God for that. But it just showed me that he's willing to step out into that kind of faith. And the remaining one we have this morning, me and Shreya, our daughter, prayed over before we left because it's kind of struggled the last few days. And the verse came that what 2 or more agree upon is God will do, like if it's aligned with His will. So I believe it'll be okay when we get home. But she reminded me of something I taught her earlier on, and that's, if you agree with the Word, there is your 2. The Word is God. So if you don't have someone else to pray with, and you just pray with the Word and agree with that, that's your 2 or more. So she reminded me that it was 3 now. So, the equipping things, I know it's not going to be easy, but I really do want to get past and find the source. And the confirmation I had from the sermon last week, one of the confirmations, was prayer and fasting, prayer and fasting. And it wasn't the fast of food or water, but of obedience. And the one line that I read, it was a commentary on that, and it said that we don't fast to receive something from God, but we fast to meet God. And I really thought about that, to meet the Lord. Looking forward to that. So I'm sure that.
Jack's been talking about equipping, and we've got our Bible, and that's our equipment, what we use to learn from. I was reading a passage here the other day, not in the Bible, an article, and what stood out to me is Have you ever read the white? So what does that mean? Have you ever read the white? We look at the Bible, the words written down, and they're in black generally, or the red letters. But have you read the white? And what he was getting to is, what is it about? There's a lot of different translations. There's a lot of